We are going to do something a little different today. I'm going to combine sections 1.5 and 1.6 because this is all review. And in this video, I am only going to go over the vocab and dividing fractions. And after that, I want you to go ahead and complete all the notes by yourself and then check your answers. The answers have been emailed to you. This is all review and nothing should be new, so I just want you to go back and review computations and rules for computations and use your calculator very infrequently. Try to do as much without the calculator as possible. And when it comes to dividing fractions, you have to divide the fractions or multiply the fractions. You cannot change it into a decimal. So let's start by going over some vocab. First, what is an absolute value? So these bars here around the 4s or on either side of the 4 and the -4, those bars mean absolute value, and I want to make sure you fully understand what exactly an absolute value is by definition. Absolute value is how far a number is from 0, a number's distance from 0. So the absolute value of 4 is 4, and the absolute value of -4 is 4, because they're both 4 jumps from 0. And here's a picture. When I taught 3rd grade, I would always say it's like a grasshopper jumping. 1, 2, 3, 4. Opposites are two numbers that are the same distance from 0 but in different directions. And so 4 and -4 are opposites. Additive inverses are numbers that equal 0 when added together. So 4 and -4 are also additive inverses. Multiplicative inverses are numbers that equal 1 when multiplied together. So 4 and 1/4 are multiplicative inverses because when you multiply them together, you get 1. And finally, a reciprocal. A reciprocal is the same thing as a multiplicative inverse. So 4 and 1/4 are reciprocals. Okay, so let's talk about dividing fractions. And let's take, for example, 3/4 divided by, let's say, 2/5. Oops, there. 3/4 divided by 2/5. Well, you probably remember when you divide fractions, you keep, change, flip. You keep the 3/4. You change the division to multiplication, and you flip the last fraction. So you multiply by the reciprocal. When dividing fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. And then you cross-reduce if possible, which here you cannot, so my answer will be in lowest form. And you just multiply straight across. But why? I want to make sure you fully understand why. So let's look at this again, but let's set it up this way. Remember, a fraction is a division bar. So if I say 3/4 divided by 2/5, I can set it up like this. And you don't have to do this. I'm just doing this so you understand why. Okay, so I've got 3/4 over 2/5. 3/4 divided by 2/5. A fraction is a division bar. Well, I want my denominator to be 1. How do I get my denominator to be 1? I multiply by the reciprocal. And when I do so and I cross-reduce, my denominator becomes 1. But what I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So that means I need to multiply my numerator by 5/2 also. And when I do that, I get 15/8. And so you can see where this keep, change, flip comes from. This is the explanation for why, or the explanation of why, when you're dividing fractions, you're multiplying by the reciprocal. That's extremely important for you to understand, and if you need to rewind this video and watch that again, please do so. So now what I want you to do is go ahead and finish out your notes, check your answers against my answer key, and then start working on your homework.